How the Blumhouse Halloween trilogy lost its way. When Blumhouse announced a direct sequel to John Carpenter's original Halloween, fans were excited. The new timeline would ignore every previous sequel. No cults, no family curse, no supernatural baggage, just Michael Myers, 40 years later. And for one movie, it worked. Halloween, 2018, succeeded because it understood one simple idea. Michael Myers wasn't supposed to be an action villain. He was supposed to be the Shape, an emotionless force that appeared, disappeared, and left chaos behind. The film also made one controversial, but effective decision. Laurie Strode and Michael Myers were no longer siblings. For years, audiences had accepted that Michael hunted Laurie because she was family. But that twist didn't exist in John Carpenter's original film. It was invented in Halloween 2. Removing that connection made Michael even more frightening. He wasn't chasing Laurie because of destiny. He wasn't following a curse. In fact, he wasn't looking for Laurie at all. Dr. Sartain deliberately led Michael to Laurie's house. It restored one of the scariest ideas from 1978. Michael kills because he chooses to, not because he has a reason. The film wasn't perfect. Some comedy felt out of place. Dr. Sartain's obsession divided audiences, but overall, it respected the original while telling a modern story. Then came Halloween Kills. This is where the trilogy began to lose its identity. Instead of continuing the intimate story between Laurie and Michael, the movie shifted toward spectacle. Michael suddenly became almost superhuman. Entire groups attacked him. He survived gunshots, stabbings, beatings, and simply stood back up. The more punishment Michael absorbed, the less frightening he became. Fear often comes from uncertainty. When a villain becomes practically indestructible, suspense disappears. Then there was the mob storyline. The idea had potential. How would an entire town respond after decades of fear? Unfortunately, much of that story was reduced to one repeated line: "Evil dies tonight." By the end of the film, the chant had become more memorable than the characters themselves. Perhaps the trilogy's biggest missed opportunity was Laurie Strode. After spending the entire first film preparing for Michael's return, she spends most of Halloween Kills in a hospital bed, instead of escalating the conflict between the two central characters. The movie sidelines its strongest protagonist. Then came Halloween Ends, and almost everything changed. Rather than continuing the story audiences had been following for 2 films, the movie introduced an entirely new main character, Corey Cunningham. Now, Corey's story isn't inherently bad. In another movie, it might have worked. Watching a bullied young man slowly descend into violence is an interesting psychological concept. The problem wasn't Corey himself. The problem was timing. After 4 years of marketing this trilogy as the final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, fans expected exactly that. Instead, Michael spends much of the film hiding beneath the town in a sewer, weak, injured, almost passive. For a character who had dominated 2 previous movies, this felt like a dramatic shift. Even stranger, Michael and Corey begin sharing kills. For many viewers, it felt less like a Halloween film and more like a completely different horror movie that happened to include Michael Myers. The final battle between Laurie and Michael is well made. It's tense, it's emotional, and it finally gives audiences closure, but it lasts only a few minutes. After nearly 3 films of buildup, many fans expected a much larger payoff. Looking back, the trilogy feels like 3 different creative visions. The first film explores trauma. The second becomes a town-wide slasher spectacle. The third experiments with psychological corruption and legacy. Each idea could have worked, but together, they never quite formed a single, consistent story. Ironically, the first movie may have succeeded because it stayed closest to the original. Michael wasn't a superhero. He wasn't a myth. He wasn't leading disciples. He was simply the Shape. A quiet presence lurking in the darkness. Sometimes, less really is more. What do you think? Was the Blumhouse trilogy a worthy continuation of John Carpenter's classic? Or did it lose what made Halloween terrifying in the first place? Let me know in the comments.